So this just happened. Proof of the secrets in the wine industry nobody wants you to know about. A recent scandal involving a buyer at a major grocery store chain took bribes and confirmed what wine insiders have known for years. The system is rigged. As a wine producer who has fought for a place in this system, I see this almost daily. Almost 2 out of 3 bottles in America are sold in grocery stores. But what if I told you that entire wall is an illusion? Today I'm going to break down the secrets that prove the game is rigged and you'll never get tricked again into buying a bad bottle of wine. So the story starts with a recent scandal in Southern California, but to understand why this was even possible, you have to go back 100 years to understand how we got here. This is the first secret. The wine aisle is built on the ghost of Prohibition from 100 years ago. Before 1920, America had hundreds of small independent family-run wineries and retailers. But Prohibition didn't just make alcohol legal, it burned the entire American alcohol industry to the ground. And so for 13 years, the slate was wiped clean, and in that empty void entered the mafia. They set up a nefarious system to control the means of production, the means of distribution, and the means of sale during Prohibition. When Prohibition was finally repealed in 1933, who had the money and the industrial power to restart instantly? It wasn't small family farms, many of whom were forced to shutter. It was a few companies that managed to survive, sometimes by selling grape juice for religious purposes. One company that rose fast, Ernest and Julio Gallo. That company is now the largest wine producer in the world. Gallo and its hundreds of brands dominate the grocery store aisle. This brings us to secret number 2, the 3-tier gatekeeper system. This is a system post-Prohibition that separated alcohol industry into 3 tiers. The producer tier, the middle tier, the distributor tier, and the retailer tier. They wanted to separate this to break the monopoly that the mafia held over alcohol during Prohibition. So you might think a winery just sells its wine to a grocery store. It doesn't. In America, it's very rare. Often, if not always, there's a mandatory middleman called the distributor. This is the 3-tiered system. Winery to distributor to retailer to you. That distributor becomes the gatekeeper in the industry. Distributors are basically the ones that determine which products are available for sale in your neighborhood, your city, and your state. While there has been a consolidation among wine producers, it's nothing when compared to the oligopoly among distributors. Today, nearly 80% of all the wines in America are distributed by only a half dozen companies. So where does that leave small, independent, family-run wineries? Typically, it's out in the cold. They have to rely on local sales from their cellar door or their tasting room. Some get small to medium-sized distributors when available, but smaller producers have to beg for that meeting. Meanwhile, the distributors, they own the club, they're the bouncer at the club, they're the gatekeeper, and their clients, the mega producers, they're the ones on the VIP list. So let's just say, if the winery can get past the bouncer, they still probably can't get into the club. And that's secret number 3. Turns out the best shelf space is actually auctioned to the highest bidder. Prime spot on the end cap, right at eye level. It's not there because it's the best wine. It's often there because it's part of a massive parent company that paid a slotting fee. Sometimes hundreds or thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. This is common in grocery stores for many of the products you'll find. But when it comes to alcohol, it's a felony illegal bribe. Remember the influence of the mafia on the alcohol business? That's why it's a federal felony. So this is what was revealed recently in Southern California, but this happens all the time all over the US. It's a hush money bribe. The distributor is pushing wines they get incentives on. The grocery store puts the wines that paid them for the best spots. So you might think business as usual. The problem for you as a wine lover or wine consumer is that at no point was the primary decision of what wine is on that shelf, is this the best wine for you? It was about who had the most money and who greased the wheels. So when you see that wall of wine next time in the grocery store aisle, what are you really choosing between? Secret number 4. This is the biggest secret of all. You're given the illusion of choice. You might see 50 different wine brands of Cabernet or Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay and think you're choosing 50 different wineries. No, you're not. You're generally choosing between 50 different marketing departments, 50 different brands, all of which are owned by 3 or 4 mega producers. It's like a food court that looks like 10 different restaurant brands, but they're all owned by the same company, selling the same sourced frozen product from the same single distributor they use. just with a different packaging, a different logo. The result is these wines in grocery stores are engineered like fast food. They're designed to be inoffensive, slightly sweet, and totally forgettable. They're not selling you story or history. They're selling you a predictable manufactured beverage. Because people are tired of the same old wines and seeing the same brands. So you're left with a choice. A system born from Prohibition, controlled by gatekeepers and designed to sell you a generic product, or you can choose another way. Our entire mission at BigHammerWines.com is to fight this system of consolidation by working directly with high-quality wineries, eliminating the middlemen and passing the quality and savings to our clients like you. We go directly to the small independent family-run wineries around the world, the ones who could never afford to play this game, nor would they be interested to. They put their money into making great wine, and farming great grapes, not slotting fees. So remember, the illegal bribes, it's just the tip of the iceberg of an industry that has some issues. The entire system has been built on this power imbalance, a pay-to-play for shelf space, and a handful of mega corporations giving you the illusion of choice. The next time you walk down that wine aisle, you won't see a library of options anymore. Hopefully you'll see the game behind those shelves. If you got value from this breakdown and want to discover great and authentic wines, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's still stuck in grocery store aisle. Before you go, I'm curious to know, do you have favorite wines? Do you find great wines at the grocery store? No judgment. I'm genuinely curious. Drop it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Cheers.